Hello, Schuco and Tin Toy fans. This is the Tin Meister, and today we're not going to take a look at a car from Schuco. We're going to take a look at the FLIC, the Traffic Controller by Schuco, made from 1954 to 1964, 10 years. And the FLIC came in two types. It came as the FLIC, which you see here in the white, which is a German traffic controller policeman, and also came as the Bobby, which is the English or the British traffic controller. And the Bobby is pretty rare. Actually, they're both fairly rare, but the Bobby is certainly more rare than the FLIC. So in my collection, I have the Bobby, and I have two examples of the FLIC. One is almost pristine, and the other is this one, which is kind of yellowed out, doesn't have a box. So here are the two examples. One is a Bobby and one is a FLIC, and they have, like I said, they have exactly the same packaging. And here they are in the box. Now the policeman is made to come off of the base, so you can play with the toy in several different ways, which I'll show you in a little while. Here's the base of the, or the bottom of the base, I should say, and you can see where the key winds it. There's the key. It could be a number 1 or a number 2 Schuco key. And here are some stills of that instruction sheet that you might want to blow up and take a look at. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got in the box. So we open up the box. Notice it says 115. Somebody's written 115 on it, and there's a couple other markings that happen to the box over time. And it comes with the instructions. And there's a little sticker on there, on this set of instructions, I'll show you in a moment, that I think is the quality control thing. See that number 40 up there? That's a sticker, and it might have been on the toy, and then somebody put it on the instructions. Yeah, there. See number 40? So somebody took that off, I think, or it just came on the instructions. Anyway, here are the instructions. It tells you how to wind it, all the different methods that you can use it for, and then there is all these examples of how you can use the FLIC. In the instructions, it also has some examples for traffic crossings that you can use. And notice they actually have the Schuco car numbers on there. I noticed it had the Combinato, the 4003 called out there, which is one of my favorite Schuco cars. And then on the back, of course, there are the examples of toys that Schuco was selling at the time. So there's our number 1 or number 2 Schuco key. I'm not sure which one they all had. One of mine came with a number 1 and one of them came with a number 2 Schuco key. So I'm not sure which is the correct one, if there is a correct one. And there's the FLIC itself. So the FLIC will turn on its base and it will raise and lower its arm. And in the bottom you can see that there's red, yellow, and green to coincide with what the policeman is telling you. We'll see that in a little while. Here's the bottom, made in U.S. Zone, Germany. And there's where the key goes in. And the FLIC 4520. There's the on-off switch. And if you pull up on it, the policeman will come off and you're left with a base. And there's where the base fits into the policeman. You can use the policeman by himself, so you can twist the bottom and raise and lower his arm. And again, this was developed to be a traffic school or a traffic game toy. So it would teach you how to stop and start because of the green or the red lights, or what the policeman would be signaling to you. So here's the Schuco FLIC in action. Now the base will turn so that the policeman can just give the signals and the driver can only see the signals. They can not see what the green or red or yellow lights are supposed to be. There's the on-off switch. And we wind it up. And again, this will last for supposedly 10 minutes if you wind it all the way, which I'm a little reluctant to do in this old toy. But in any case, it lasts for quite a while. we turn it on, and we'll watch him turn around, and we'll adjust the base. There we go. So he's looking at you, and he's got his arm out. I mean, stop. And then as he turns around, it goes to yellow and then green. And you can drive by him when he's standing sideways to you. And then it raises his arm, goes to yellow, so watch out, slow down, and then red, so stop. And he turns again, he raises his arm, yellow, caution, and green, because you can drive by him. And it will continue to go around like that for 10 minutes. Incredible. And actually it makes very little noise as it's running. If it's got a nice smooth oiled mechanism, it runs very quietly. So let's try another way. Let's pull the policeman off, put him aside, and then have this as as the monitor for the lights. So you just put this down on the ground, and you could play with it just with that without the policeman signaling to you. So there it's green, goes to yellow, and goes to red. And it goes to yellow, and then it's going to turn into green. Alright, so now we turn that off. And again, this is, you can use the policeman by himself. Set him up with your toys, and he can be telling you to stop or go or whatever you desire. Now he's waving to you. Alright, so we put this back on. You've got to be a little careful when you put it on, because you got to kind of turn it a little bit to make it fit down on that square peg. So then you could turn it like, you can't see the green or the red or the yellow with just the signals from the policeman. And that's the third and final way to play with the FLIC. Okay, so you stop because he's got his arm out straight, and he's facing, well, he's not facing you, but he's perpendicular to you, and he's going to yellow, and it would be green, and there you go. All right, and here's the Bobby. This is the most rare of those toys. We're going to take a close look at it. It's very similar to the FLIC, but of course he has a different hat, different coloration. But it works exactly the same way, of course. And you pull that off, just like on the FLIC, and you can have the Bobby wave to you. There you go. I'm sure they were all hand painted. And there's the Bobby. And this is the last example. This is the one that I probably need to clean up a little bit. It's a FLIC, but look at how yellow it's become. It still works, but it kind of needs to be taken apart and cleaned. Maybe we'll do that on another episode of how you would take the base apart and clean it and make it run correctly. But it does work after all this time. There you go, see? You have to be careful when it goes on there that square lug fits on correctly, because you don't want to push it down real hard until that lug goes into place. Watch it, I have to turn it a little bit, yeah. I have to turn it a little bit to line up that square lug. So that's the Schuco FLIC and Bobby from 1954. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks, everybody. Good evening.